The first thing I noticed about the alien woman was her smile. Not because it was beautiful, though it was, but because it was wrong. It curved too slowly, like it had been practiced. Like she'd learned it from watching humans, not feeling it. Her eyes followed a half-second later, pupils expanding in a way no humans ever could, reflecting the harsh white lights of the docking bay like mirrors. Everyone else around me bowed. I didn't. That was my second mistake of the day. The Galactic Exchange Station hovered between 3 star systems, a massive rotating city of steel, glass, and alien geometry. I was there as a contracted linguistic systems engineer. Nothing glamorous, nothing heroic. I fixed translation cores. I kept peace by making sure people understood each other well, enough not to start wars over grammar. The woman stepped down from her escort platform, tall and graceful, her skin shimmering with faint bioluminescent veins that pulsed softly beneath a deep violet hue. She wore ceremonial armor that looked grown rather than built, curving perfectly to her form. A hush fell over the bay. Someone whispered her name. Zyreth. I knew the name. Everyone did. She was a high matron of the Varelian Concord, an expansionist species known for 2 things: advanced biotechnology and absolute emotional dominance. They didn't conquer with weapons alone. They conquered with bonds. Forced bonds. Her gaze locked onto me. Not the ambassadors. Not the generals. Me. I felt it then, a pressure behind my eyes, like invisible fingers brushing against my thoughts. Instinct screamed at me to look away, but curiosity, or stupidity, kept me frozen. She smiled again. Then, without warning, she crossed the space between us in a blur of motion. Gasps echoed around the bay as her hand closed around my wrist, warm and firm. And she pulled me into her arms. The world tilted. Her scent flooded my senses, something floral and metallic, alien yet intoxicating. My heart slammed against my ribs as her arms wrapped around me, impossibly strong, but not painful. Her cheek brushed my ear. You are louder than the others, she murmured, her voice resonating directly inside my skull. Even when you say nothing. Security surged forward, weapons raised. Diplomats shouted. Protocol shattered. Zyreth lifted one hand, not even looking at them. They froze. Every single one. I claim him, she said calmly. Under Concord right. Silence. Then chaos. I was escorted, dragged, really, through corridors I'd never seen, into a living chamber that pulsed like a heartbeat. The doors sealed behind us with a sound like flesh knitting together. Only then did she release me. I stumbled back, breathless. You can't just do that, I said, my voice shaking. I don't belong to you. Her eyes studied me, unblinking. You misunderstand, she replied. I do not own you. Not yet. That should have terrified me more than it did. She explained it slowly, patiently, like one might explain gravity to a child. The Varelians were on the brink of internal collapse. Their ancient bonding rituals, meant to stabilize leadership through emotional resonance, were failing. Their species had evolved too far, intellect overpowering instinct. They needed an external anchor, a human, someone neurologically flexible, emotionally resilient, loud in the ways that mattered. Me. I didn't choose you randomly, Zyreth said. I have listened to your thoughts for weeks. That part terrified me properly. Days passed, or maybe cycles. Time felt strange in her presence. She didn't imprison me, not really. I could walk the chamber, access limited station feeds, even refuse her touch. But every time she smiled, my chest tightened. The bond was starting, uninvited, unconsented, and yet not entirely unwanted. I learned things about her people, about her loneliness, about the unbearable pressure of carrying an empire's survival alone. Zyreth wasn't cruel. She was desperate. And I was changing. I could feel her emotions brushing against mine, faint impressions at first, then clearer.
Pride. Fear.
A longing so deep it hurt. One night, or what passed for it, she stood close enough that I could feel the warmth radiating from her skin. "If we complete the bond," she said softly, "you will feel me always."
And I you.
"I will never lie to you, never hide." I swallowed. "And if I refuse?" Her smile faltered just a little. "Then my people may fracture," she said, "and you will walk away unchanged." That was the lie. I was already changed. The station erupted into crisis before I could decide. A rival faction attempted a coup, disabling core systems. Gravity fluctuated. Alarm screamed. Zyreth staggered as psychic feedback ripped through her. Without thinking, I grabbed her. Held her. The connection snapped into focus like a circuit closing. Pain flared. Then clarity. I felt her fear as my own. Her strength flowed into me, steady and grounding. Together, we pushed back, stabilizing the station systems through the bond. When it was over, we collapsed together, breathing hard. The bond was complete. The galaxy reeled. Humans protested. Varelians celebrated. Politicians argued over legality, consent, precedent. Zyreth offered me a choice. Stay as her bonded equal, or return to Earth, the bond slowly fading but never fully gone. I looked at her then, not as an alien ruler, not as my captor, but as a woman who had smiled at me, then dragged me into her arms because she had no other way to save everything she loved. "I'll stay," I said, not because I was forced, but because I wanted to see what we could become. Ending. Years later, the galaxy would tell the story differently. They'd say the Varelian matron conquered humanity through seduction, that the human engineer lost himself to alien influence, that the bond was a mistake or a miracle, depending on who you asked. They were all wrong, because the truth was simpler. The alien woman smiled, then dragged me into her arms. And together, we changed the galaxy, one shared heartbeat at a time.